What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to episode 5. Episode 5 of Nostalgia Mania. I am your host, the real Josh Elliott. And to my left, or my right, I guess, is the man, the myth, the legend, Stitch-O-Mania himself. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. Good. We are on the heels of the spookiest holiday of the year. Halloween just happened last Thursday? The day after our last episode.
That's Thursday.
So did you stack up on the sweets and the chocolates?
No, but my girlfriend's daughter did, and I, helped myself. Probably a little more than I should have.
Yeah, you and me both. I've got 3 kids, so I've got times 3. So
Yeah, oh yeah.
we've been digging through that all week.
Yep.
Oh man. Heading over to the comments. Autumn in the house. Appreciate you. That is a fantastic profile picture, by the way.
Thanks for
I say that
joining us,
every week.
Autumn.
Yeah, I think I say that every week. And we
Yeah.
got Derrick Stich in the chat. Hey, yo. So we are live currently on YouTube and on Twitch at The Real Josh Elliott. So if you guys want to go back and check out any of our previous episodes, we've covered Zelda, The Link to the Past. We've covered Super Mario Brothers, Sonic, and WCW NWO World Tour and Revenge. Tonight, we are going on to the Sony PlayStation, and we're going to cover Twisted Metal, one of my favorite games on that system. But before we do that, Stitch, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you on social media?
Facebook, X. You can also find me on YouTube as well. It's Stitch Effin Mania. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
You don't want anybody to go follow you on the TikTok?
I have TikTok, but I don't use it. So, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I don't know. And what about your? Do you want to promote Zanga this week, or is that next week?
That might be next week.
I mean, next week. Okay.
Yeah.
Same platform for me.
Tom's still holding it down over there at MySpace. So
that's what I hear. That's what I hear. Long live Tom. You can follow me on the same platforms at The Real Josh Elliott, or just Joshua Elliott 06, I think it is, on or maybe it's Josh Elliott 12 on the X machine, formerly the Twitter machine. So hopefully everybody's doing fantastic. We are like I said, we are on episode 5, man. I can't believe we've been doing this for already over a month. Like, yeah, episodes start going extremely quick, especially if we're doing it every week.
Yeah, for sure.
So last week we talked about Sonic the Hedgehog.
We did.
One of your favorite Sega Genesis games. I don't know. We didn't really rank where that ranked like all time for you, but before we did jump into it, we're going to start ranking these games as we talk about them, like where they rank on like a scale from 0 to 10. We forgot to talk about this backstage, but we're going to rank these from 0 to 10. 0 being the worst game you've ever played in your life, 10 the best game you've ever played in your life, and we're going to rank them from 1 to 10. And then at some point in time, we'll pull up both of our lists at in a month down the road, and we'll see where Twisted Metal ranked against Zelda, where we ranked them at the time. So where would you, and I'm not saying rank it now, but like where would you rank Sonic? As far as like, would that be in your upper like top 10 all-time video games, or where would Sonic rank on your list just off the top of your head?
Man, it's hard to say, because if I actually sat and thought about all my games that I would consider my favorites, that would be a big list. First it would go like top 5. Then I'd be like, oh, I forgot that game. I got to go top 10, Then I'm like, oh, I forgot those games. It'd be a top 15. And top 10, probably not top 10, no.
Yeah.
I'm going to say probably top 25, though. That sounds better. Probably top 25, yeah.
I would assume that probably for the first couple months of this, we're probably going to be doing games that are in at least one of our top 25.
We've already done some.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's going to be a while before we get to a game that neither one of us consider to be upper echelon, So, hope y'all are well this Wednesday evening. Hello, Hunter Dillon. Appreciate you tuning in, sir.
Yep. Welcome, sir. Thanks
we're doing the best we
Yeah.
absolutely can. We're going to talk about some video games here. You tuned in to the Twisted Metal episode, which we are getting ready to kick off here. So let's start this thing off. I have clips. I know we have failed multiple weeks in a row. We're going to try this again. I've actually got them uploaded to StreamYard, so I'm not going to be sharing them. So hopefully these will go a little bit smoother. But let's start off by playing the intro to Twisted Metal 1 on the original Sony PlayStation. There it is. Twisted Metal 1.
Short and simple.
Short and sweet. So as we kick this off, as we always do, we'll start off by talking about when the game was released, and that was in November of 1995. By what you saw, my computer's on the fritz here. On that graphic, you saw that a company called Single Track was the developers of Twisted Metal. They developed the game in 8 months.
Wow.
Which is unheard of.
Yeah, especially now.
And it was only by a handful of people. Like, it was a very, very small team, and they developed it from start to scratch in 8 months. That's insane.
Wow.
That is insane. And think about, like, have you played the new college football game?
I have.
Think about how long it took to make that game.
Yeah.
That was years that they took to make a football game. And this, I mean, completely different times, right? But
yeah,
to make a game as successful as Twisted Metal in 8 months, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Now the only bad thing though about the college football games is now they're going to have to start kicking them out every year. So
either that or keeping things updated. Like, I mean,
yeah,
you may not. I mean, I would prefer them to do every 2 or 3 and try to keep the game updated with roster updates and patches and stuff like that, and then take your time on the new ones rather than trying to just every year spit things out like Madden does.
Yeah, I think every 2 years for sports games, definitely. That way you get a better product overall. But the only bad thing is, well, I guess they could, never mind. I was going to say if something drastic changes, but they could just update it. So,
right. Classic PS1 boot up sound never gets old. I agree. When I pulled that noise or that video, I was like, immediate nostalgia.
Yep.
Immediate. Autumn, don't think I've ever heard of this game. I don't blame you. You were not born for 9 years after this game was released. So, let's see. Yeah, don't do what 2K does with their WWE titles. 1,000%. 1,000%. I hate when games post new games after the year. Like, I can't keep up or afford it. Again, agreed. All agreed. So keeping on that, man, like they developed the game Single Track in just 8 months, and they got the idea by going to the developers. I think it was a group of 5 or 6 people, went to a demolition derby in Utah. And they were working there for a little while, and they had a code name, and the code name was called High Octane. And they all went to a real life demolition derby in Utah, and that was the start of what was and what is the cult classic of Twisted Metal, which, as you guys know, is a vehicular, combat game where the goal is to basically destroy your opponents with, machine guns and flamethrowers and bombs and all sorts of things from a character standpoint. So, Calypso basically is the mysterious man that kind of organizes this this tournament, or this game, he likes to call it. And basically he would say the winner of each game, or the winner of each said tournament, he would grant a single wish to that winner of the tournament. So, and that man was Calypso. So he is the man behind the Twisted Metal tournament. So, characters, Stitch Mania. Who are your go-to characters in the game?
Man, I pretty much used. I tried out everybody. I don't know. I never really had a favorite because I tried them all.
Did you?
Oh yeah, because I mean that you get tired of being the same person, over and over. So
right. So for me, my favorite was Thumper, and it was basically a pink Cadillac, and driven by a character named Bruce Cochran. And I love this character because it had flamethrowers on the front of the vehicle, and to use that, it would only shoot out like a few feet in front of the car. So you would have to have very good control, and you'd have to be right on your opponent to have the most effect. Right, you would have to basically be following right behind them and have good, hand-eye coordination, which for the time I thought I did, and I thought I did really well as Thumper. And that's kind of why I would always drift toward using him in the game. Some other the rest of the characters we can run through real quick. I've got a quick video that'll show you everybody. Let's do that right now. Let's play the video kind of showing you the character select screen of the original Twisted Metal. It was quick. You didn't really get a look at him very long, but you had Thumper, and you had Sweet Tooth. That's the main, character on the front of on all of the games cover. You get the Sweet Tooth, which was driven by Needles Kane. Yellow Jacket, Dark Side, Outlaw, Crimson Fury, Pit Viper, Warthog, Mr. Grimm, Spectre, Hammerhead, and Roadkill. So out of those characters, like, I know you say you like to play them all, but like, I gravitated toward Thumper. Was Mr. Grimm
probably Sweet Tooth. Yeah. Sweet Tooth was always
just
a fun character to play.
Yeah.
So driving around in that ice cream truck and
play the ice cream music as he's basically blowing you to smithereens.
Pretty much.
So, let's see. Check the comments. Want to play those? Yeah, those cars. I want to play the game. Cars are dope. Agreed. This going down memory lane on this game, probably because I haven't revisited Twisted Metal since I was a kid. Like all these other games we've talked about, I've played as an adult. This game I have not. And this one really got me nostalgic because I just hadn't seen it or heard it since I was a kid. So I know Brody was talking. If you looked at our social media, we posted what character you selected. His favorite was always Mr. Grimm, and that one was if somebody was Mr. Grimm, I was usually not Thumper because Mr. Grimm was quick. He jolted to each side really quick, and it was very hard to get that flamethrower and stay on them the entire time. So I'd always pick somebody else when my opponent was Mr. Grimm.
Yeah.
So do you remember any of the endings of the game?
No.
Like when so like I said before, Calypso would grant the winners their own single wish, regardless of the prize, size, or even reality. And he always had like a twisted sense of humor. So I got a couple. I did some research, and I've got the endings for 3 of the characters. And I'll kind of list off a couple just so we can see kind of what, man or what kind of person Calypso really was.
Yeah.
So for Sweet Tooth, your favorite character, so Needles Kane, the driver, confronts Calypso and wishes for his best friend. Instead of a person, he hands him a paper bag containing Sweet Tooth's own head. Because if you remember, Sweet Tooth's head is a flaming skull.
Oh, yeah.
This twist shows Calypso's cruel sense of humor and sets the tone for the series. So that was the ending for Sweet Tooth. Now, Thumper, my favorite character, Bruce wins the tournament and wishes for the power to take control of his neighborhood and defend it from violence and crime. So he wants to be a good guy. Calypso grants his wish by giving Bruce the ability to set his enemies ablaze with just a thought, mirroring Thumper's special fire attack. However, while Bruce now has the power to protect his neighborhood, the ending hints that he might have to live with the consequences of yielding such destructive force. The bittersweet twist reflects the series theme and wishes at a heavy cost, making Thumper's ending a very empowering and unsettling because a single bad thought about somebody and that person is immediately set ablaze and killed. So, and Mr. Grimm was very similar to Sweet Tooth. He wishes for the soul of a friend he lost in the Vietnam War. And Calypso basically, in his twisted nature, hands Mr. Grimm a small screaming soul trapped in a jar, and that's Mr. Grimm's ending. So. All of them very similar. They wish for something and Calypso grants it, but it's not exactly what they wish for.
Yeah.
So with that being said, do you have any memories? I feel like I'm talking a crap ton. What do you have any memories of receiving the game, playing the game? What can you talk about as
nothing like really nothing really in particular. But Twisted Metal Black was actually the last Twisted Metal game that I played. It was the last one.
It's also my opinion the best one.
Probably, yeah.
But nonetheless, go ahead.
But yeah, I can remember I never owned the game, but I knew somebody that did. And go to their house and play it, and I just remember it being an awesome game, and it was fun just driving around trying to blow people up, So
speaking of blowing people up, let's take a look at what the game actually looked like if you actually put it in and started playing the game.
Dude, you can almost hardly even tell what's going on in that game. But hey, the graphics were not going to get any better.
We're not going to get any better. Yes, you are.
Man.
It was very hard to keep up. Lots of things flying on the screen at one time. This was mid 90s. As I said, November 1995. Graphics compared to now were very, very bad. But
Toy Story came out in 95, and that movie looks phenomenal.
You're right. You're right. But yeah, I mean, that was virtually what it looked like. I did mean to show these two before we move on. So the game was developed by Single Track. So that was for the earlier topic, and then Calypso, just an image of what Calypso looked like. This was Mr. Calypso. So he's who you faced, not against, but he's who you went to after you won the tournament. Let me get back to this. So the game sold 1.12 million copies worldwide. So it did break 1 million. Though it is a cult classic, as we've talked about, the series in general, all the way up until the last one they made, which I believe was in 2012. They were not in the top 50 best PlayStation games. Not best, but like most sold PlayStation games in history. So overall, I believe, and we'll get to that a little bit later, so I won't spoil that. But overall, it did really well with all the games combined, right? So, as far as me, man, like I'm kind of similar to you. I did own the game, but I can't specifically remember like opening it up on like a Christmas morning, or asking for it. I just remember getting it, or just having it, I guess. And it was always fun because it was multiplayer. You always had people over, and you'd be able to play, 2 players at the same time, and it was always fun to play that, and see how far you can get in the game. So, speaking of, you have a couple. Sorry, I'm trying to. So the maps. So there was only 6 maps in the game, and I got screenshots to kind of show you which ones. There we go. So this was the first level of the game. It was called Arena. It was just a basic circular, little arena there with fans in attendance. It looks like basically just like an introductory level of the game. It's very small, compact, lots of blowing up, because if you've got 6 or 7 people or cars in that little area, it gets pretty insane there, because there's not a lot of space to drive. The second level is Warehouse District, just an industrial area, tight spaces, opportunity for ambushes. This one's a pretty fun level. Freeway. I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong. This one is actually River Park Rumble. Sorry, I missed Freeway, but Freeway is a long, narrow map with 2 highways. I guess I didn't get a picture of that one, but anyway, River Park Rumble. This one is set in a park area with a river, open areas, obstacles, dodging. So that one was that. This one was my favorite, and I don't know if you remember playing this level. This is Suburbia. So I always thought it was cool to be just driving around a neighborhood with houses around. You're blowing up things in people's front yards. And then the final level was Rooftop Combat, and that's where you would face Minion at the end. So Definitely, this one was probably the most challenging because you were literally on a rooftop and there was lots of places for you to fall off and die and have to restart. Very frustrating. Got anything you wanted to add to any of the levels?
Not really, no. Kind of still hard to kind of even tell what the levels kind of even look like, really, because you can't even really tell that was even a rooftop. I mean, that one you can, and
yeah, that one it's tough because you got
one.
a bunch of randomness. That one was River Park. This one was actually Freeway. I misspoke earlier. Warehouse District. I don't know if I showed this one or not, but this one's Warehouse District. So I think I think I said. Anyway, regardless, you're right. It's very pixelated, tough to see. So, but let's check out some of the critics. Hang on, let's go. Got some comments here. The game looks wild. It was, and as Stich said, the graphics were a little rough. But as the games went on, like you got the Twisted Metal 2, Twisted Metal 3, 4, then Twisted Metal Black. And then I think there was Twisted Metal on PlayStation 3. Every game got better graphics. Every game got, cooler, I guess, quote unquote. I don't remember playing Twisted Metal much on PlayStation 3, but I do remember playing Black, and that was again by far my favorite. But so overall, this Twisted Metal, do you think positive or negative reviews?
Probably positive.
So according to a I don't know where, Gamers Associated Press, is that what this one's? It says overall, the original Twisted Metal received mostly positive reviews from gamers and critics, especially for its time. It was praised for its unique concept, fun multiplayer mode, and innovative vehicular combat, which was relatively new genre in the mid-90s. Gamers appreciated the dark, gritty atmosphere and a variety of vehicles and characters, each with their own special abilities and twisted backstories. However, some reviews did point out the game's flaws. As you've already mentioned, its blocky graphics. Even for the time, the graphics were a little rough. Occasional control issues, and a very limited single-player experience. So you basically, if you didn't have two players, it wasn't as fun as having two, which is why I liked it so much, because I always had, my buddy Jacob over, and we'd always play this. Despite the minor criticisms, Twisted Metal became a cult classic, achieving average scores of around 7.5 to 8 out of 10 across various review platforms, and remains highly regarded for its influence on the vehicular combat genre and its role establishing PlayStation as a platform with edgier, unique titles versus Nintendo. So, I guess this is where we stop and we decide we want to rank the video game itself. Twisted Metal 1, not the franchise, not any other game besides this one. This is where we want to rank it from 0 to 10 on your gaming scale. 0 being the one of the worst games you've ever played. 10 being one of the best games you've ever played. What you thinking?
Probably about a solid 4.5.
4.5?
Yeah.
Right. All right. I like it. I like it. I'm a little higher. For Twisted Metal 1, I would probably put that at, just because I know a lot of fun games that we're going to be talking about in the future. I'm probably going to throw this at I'll give it a 6.
Okay.
I'll give it a 6. I was going to say 5.5, but I'll go 6. So
yeah.
So yours was 4.5. You said.
Yep.
I'm just going to keep a note, and then I'll do 6 for Josh. Okay. All right. So there you have it. Quickly, the other games in the platform was obviously Twisted Metal 95. Twisted Metal 2 came out 1 year later, so it did such a big hit that they released a game the following year for Twisted Metal 2. Twisted Metal 3 came out 2 years later in 98. Twisted Metal 4 in 99. All 4 of those were on PlayStation. And then there was also a game which I don't think I've ever played. It was called Twisted Metal Small Brawl.
Small Brawl, yeah.
In 2001. And then the same year, Twisted Metal Black, that was on PlayStation 2. And then they had a game called Twisted Metal Head On in 2005 on PlayStation Portable, PSP, and then Twisted Metal 2012, which was on PlayStation 3. So total 9 million copies worldwide across all those games. So some of those obviously went less than 1 million copies for the game,
Yeah.
but because it's only 9 for what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. But yeah. So relatively good. I mean, for a team, a very small team.
Yeah.
For just imagine you and I like going to an event and we're just sitting there and we see something that like they went to a demolition derby, we could have gone to anything, and then we just come back with the idea of, hey, you know what? Let's do that. Let's make a game, and you sell 1 million copies the following year. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, man. Ideas are born from anything, really. Anything and everywhere.
Is whoever's in the chat, I know we still got some viewers. I see the viewer count. If Autumn or Hunter is still in the chat, so just kind of a quick preview. We are going to do at the end of this show, which it's getting pretty close. We are going to do a draft where we're going to go back and forth, and we're going to draft vehicle games on PlayStation 1. So we're going to take turns, and I'm going to, Stitch is going to draft one, then I'm going to draft one, and we're going to build like a team of vehicle games. So Autumn is still here. So that's what we're going to do. And the game has to be on the regular PlayStation. So if you want to take part, Autumn, let us know, and we will make you the third person to draft in this draft. And we will go Stitch, and then we will let you go second, Autumn, if you want to do it. And then I will go third. And then we will do 5 picks. Everybody will pick 5 games. And then we will post them on our social media and have people vote on which games are better, or which set of games are the better set of vehicular games on the regular PlayStation. So let us know if you want in. If not, Stitch and I'll just do it together. So
yeah, they can be racing games, like any game really to deal with some sort of vehicle, like a car or even a boat, motorcycle.
Anything with an engine, basically, is what I told Stitch.
Yeah, anything with an engine.
If you're mostly in a vehicle for that game or on a vehicle, then you can draft it. So, I have a section here that says tease other characters, and I've just got 2. These are for like future games for Twisted Metal, not just Twisted Metal 1. Do you remember Axel? He was in Twisted Metal 2, and I'm sure he was in other games as well, but for sure it was the man that was in 2 giant wheels, and he would reach over and he would grab and that's how he would drive. He'd just be in the middle of 2 giant like tractor trailer wheels.
Yep.
So that was probably one of my favorites on the other games. And then there was also a character called Mr. Slam, which was like a construction vehicle that would grab you and like pick you up and slam you on the ground, and then like take half your health away. So that was one of my for future games was one of my favorite characters. So have you ever watched Twisted Metal on Peacock?
I have. Yeah, I watched I think I watched 2 episodes of it. The first episode was actually pretty good. So
Was it?
yeah, and Sweet Tooth is actually in there too, which is awesome.
I need to fire that up. I told you, backstage before we started. I have not seen it yet, so I've heard a lot of good things.
Yeah.
Definitely want to watch that.
I think Rotten Tomatoes gives it like in the high 60s or early 70s as a rating on there. So yeah, not bad. It's got Anthony Mackie in it,
Yeah.
So
No. You will draft your own set of 5 games, Autumn.
yeah.
Like if you just go to, you don't have to do it, or you can go to Google and find some from car games. This is a pretty tough category, so you probably can sit this one out because Stitch and I was having some trouble coming up with our list. So if you want to do the next one, maybe I'll give you a heads up and you can participate in the next one. But yes,
yeah, and they have to, because they have to be car games or vehicle games off of PlayStation 1.
Correct. Yeah, they can't be on any other platform.
And if you say a game, we can't say, the same game. They've got to be all different games.
Correct. Yep.
So they could be from the same franchise, but not the same game.
Right. Speaking of the TV show, you said Anthony Mackie's in it.
Yep.
You know who plays Sweet Tooth?
I do.
Yeah. Samoa Joe. And for those of you who I know if Hunter's in here, he knows who that is, but he is a professional wrestler probably most known for his ROH and TNA days. He did get some time in WWE, and I think he worked. Did he work AEW?
Yeah,
he did. He's been all over, but he's a very popular pro wrestler, and now he's acting and doing the Sweet Tooth role, which is pretty cool. I got a short little teaser because the first season's over and they're teasing the second season. So let's watch that.
We're here for something important.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I know what I'm doing tomorrow night. Yeah, I'm watching the first season, and I'm probably gonna binge it.
Yeah.
Because love Anthony Mackie, love Samoa Joe. I mean, I don't know how I'm gonna like Samoa Joe's acting. He acts in wrestling, obviously, but I'm not gonna see how he is in an actual acting role. But yeah, let's see. Let's see. So we're on to the bracket. Let's do this. Is that a show? Yes, it is. It is the Twisted Metal TV show on Peacock. Season 1 is out. Season 2 is coming at some point in time. That was the teaser trailer for season 2. So again, I'm gonna make myself a note and not forget, but I'm gonna go binge watch that.
I've been binge watching Tulsa King on Paramount Plus. That's got Sylvester Stallone, who plays a gangster that just recently got out of prison and basically kind of gets sent to Tulsa, Oklahoma. So I'm on the second. I think I'm almost done with the second season because I think I think they're still streaming the newer episodes of it. So, but it's been really good. Like I went through it fast, and I think it's got like 10 episodes a season, maybe. So, but yeah, it's been really good. And it's from the same people. It's from the same guy who created Yellowstone, Taylor Sheridan.
Oh yeah, and Yellowstone's a hell of a yeah.
Yeah.
You said it was called Tulsa King?
Yeah, Tulsa King. Yep.
Interesting. I have to check that out. All right. So we're ready for a draft. Let's I got it written down here, so we will go side by side. And then I will post the graphic either later tonight or tomorrow and have everybody vote on it and see who they think's list is better. So again, we're going to draft. We're going to go back and forth just like a fantasy football draft, but it's not going to be a snake draft. We're just going to go back and forth. The concept is we're going to draft 5 games from the original PlayStation, and they have to be games where you are primarily in a vehicle or a car or anything with an engine, basically. And so, yeah, let's give this a go. Stitch Mania. Who is your number 1 draft pick, and kind of give us a little bit of not backstory. Just tell us why you picked it.
Oh, man. So the first game I'm going to go with is Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit. The Need for Speed games, great games, great racing games. But as a kid, I always played Need for Speed racing games. But I played a lot of racing games because of my dad. My dad was very big into racing games, and that's what got me hooked on them as well. But yeah, Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit is my number 1 pick. So
I like it.
Yeah.
So my first round pick is going to be a very similar racing game, and that is Gran Turismo. And I was more Need for Speed than I was Gran Turismo, kind of like you were. But my uncle Jason was introduced me to Gran Turismo, and we played quite a bit of it when I first got my PlayStation. And it was I probably played it more than Need for Speed, to be honest with you. So I'm kind of glad you went with Need for Speed. That was going to be my first pick if you pick Gran Turismo. So those are my top 2. So yeah, Gran Turismo is my number 1 overall. So Stitchmania, number 2.
And speaking of Gran Turismo, there's also a movie based on Gran Turismo as well, which is actually a phenomenal movie. And it's based on a true story, even though some of it is edited for story purposes and Hollywood, but it's based on a true story. All right, my second pick, I'm gonna go with Road Rash. Road Rash was a motorcycle game. No, not 3D, just regular Road Rash. Road Rash was a racing game when you were on motorcycles. And you could sit there, you could punch the other guys on the motorcycle, you could kick them to get them to fall off, you could use weapons. And yeah, it was a fun game because you were on motorcycles. So it was definitely a fun game, and I played it a lot too, just like Need for Speed. Plus, my dad had a motorcycle, or a couple motorcycles, not all at the same time, but yeah.
Yep. So that's a sleeper pick, I think. That was definitely a sleeper pick. My number 2 draft pick, and I'm kind of looking at my list here. I am going to go with Driver.
It's a good choice.
That was my first introduction to a game similar to like that, because I know, again, I'm going to kind of reference my uncle for a lot of this podcast because my gaming history kind of went with him, and we played a lot of games together, and Driver was one that he introduced me to, and I played that game before I did any of the Grand Theft Autos, and it was a game that just kind of like I was in awe. You're driving in a city in a world that looks just like what you live in, and it was just kind of a cool concept for me. So, So I'm going with Driver as number 2. Lock that in. Stitchmania.
It's funny. I'm going to take a second here. I'm going to talk about Driver because
Yeah, for sure.
Buddy of mine had Driver. I did not have Driver. So I'd go to his house and I played it. I can't remember if he rented it or if he actually owned it. But I went over to his house and I played it. And I remember, I think the very first part of it is you're in a parking garage. I think you go in, you get the car, and then I think you drive out.
And it takes you an hour to do what it tells you to do to get out of that garage.
Yeah. And it just felt like that was, and I think, honestly, I don't think I actually played it much after that because I think I got that mad and that angry about the very beginning of the game. And
I can't believe that I forgot to say that. And I can't remember exactly what the move was, but you would get all the tasks done. And the last one, it's a specific term, and I can't remember what it is, but you have to like spin the car in a specific way, and it has to stop or land or something in the exact spot, or else you fail it. And you have to continuously do it. And it was very frustrating.
Yep.
And there's no skipping it. You had to do it.
No, you had to.
So,
because you had to be a driver, so you had to show off the skills.
Yep.
You had to Dominic Toretto that stuff. So,
man,
all
right, you're up. Pick 3. You've got Need for Speed 3, Hot Pursuit, and Road Rash as your top 2.
You know what? I'm gonna go with the one that started it all, even though I did not play it. I didn't even play the second one, but when I started playing the franchise, it was number 3. I'm gonna go with Grand Theft Auto. I'm going Grand Theft Auto, my 3rd pick. Because Grand Theft Auto 3 was great. Grand Theft Auto Vice City, San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto 5, those were all great games. But yeah, I'm going to go with the one that started it all. And the thing about GTA is, the first 2 were bird's eye views. So you were looking at it from the top view and looking down. So, because I remember the same friend that had Driver, I remember going to his house, and I think he was playing Grand Theft Auto 2. I think it was. It wasn't the first one. It was 2. Pretty sure. And I remember watching him play it and getting all excited and having fun playing it. I'm like, how is this game fun? You're looking at it from the top of the top, bird's eye view. It's like, how can it be fun? It's hard to drive, or it looked hard to drive, but yeah, it was. But yeah, I didn't play Grand Theft Auto until the 3rd one on PS2. So yeah,
that's awesome. No, I'm with you on that. Go ahead.
Gran Turismo 3, 3rd pick. Lock it in. Okay.
Wait, what?
Or Grand Theft Auto 1. Lock it in. 3rd pick.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
So did you just change your pick after you described?
No.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So this is going to be kind of off the, not really off the wall. It's a game that because you just said your 3rd pick you didn't play very often. This game I also did not play a whole terrible amount. I do remember playing it, and you had those demo discs that you talked about last week. This was on one of those demo discs that I remember playing quite often on that demo disc, but I ended up receiving, I think, the second one in like mid 90s, like 97 or 98, something like that. I can't remember when it came out. Anyway, my 3rd pick is Jet Moto. And again, I did not own this. I did not own the first one. I did own the second one. The first one I played a lot on that demo disc, had a lot of fun with it. But by the time I was playing that first one, the second one was already out. So I think I got that for Christmas for my birthday. Played it. Had a lot of fun with it. I think I enjoyed the first one more just because I played it more often. But yeah, Jet Moto, number 3. Lock it in. Let's go. We got 2 more picks. Number
That
4.
was actually the first game that I actually wrote on my list.
Really?
It wasn't in any particular order, but that was actually the first game that I wrote down. It was Jet Moto was awesome.
Yes.
And and I remember the only one I remember playing is the first one. I know there's a 2, and I don't specifically remember or have any memories from playing the second one. But that was just an awesome game. You were like on a flying like bike basically with no wheels,
Yeah.
and you raced, and it was an awesome game. And that was one of my games that my dad had. So I'd go to his house and I'd play it all the time.
Yep.
But yeah, and I think that's where Rockstar got the inspiration from for the Oppressor Mach 2 on Grand Theft Auto 5 online. They look similar, they act similar, they're both flying bikes. But it's hard to say if that's actually where the inspiration came from for the Oppressor on Grand Theft Auto 5. But yeah, Jet Moto was an awesome game, and I was mad. I was mad when you said Jet Moto because that was going to be one of mine. So
well, my
that's all right, bro.
my fun fact for that was the creators of Jet Moto were the same creators as Twisted Metal. Single
Really?
Track is the same company that made Twisted Metal
Wow.
and Jet Moto. Yep.
I did
Those are
not
the
know that.
those are the only 2 notable games that Single Track has made. If you go look at their history, I mean, I'm sure some hardcore gamers are going to be like, "What are you talking about?" But those 2 it was Jet Moto and Twisted Metal were the 2 big name games that Single Track made. So,
wow, had no idea.
Anyway, fun fact. So, all right, number 4. Who you got? What do you got? Not who. I'm so used to fantasy football.
I'm gonna go with Ridge Racer.
Ridge Racer.
Yep, there were several Ridge Racer games. There were several of them. And I think, now don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure the last one was on PS3 and 360. I think it might have been Ridge Racer 7, if I remember right. I did not play it, but there were several of the Ridge Racer games that I actually played when I was younger. But I'm just going to go with the first one just because that's the one that started it all. So
Ridge Racer. I don't think I've ever played Ridge Racer. I'm looking it up on the Google machine here. Is it Ridge Racer Type 4, like R?
I think that was the 4th one, but there's other Ridge Racer games. So
Ridge Racer 1, PlayStation 1. I think that's it. I think I'm not seeing any other. Oh yeah. Well, there's Ridge Racer Revolution. That's on PlayStation.
Yeah, the first Ridge Racer Revolution was also a good movie or a good game.
There it is. There's Ridge Racer. I see it.
Oh, there was another Ridge Racer game for PS3. This is real, called Unbounded.
Yeah. All right. So Ridge Racer's yours.
Yep.
So I've kind of stayed on the. I'm gonna go a little cartoony here. On you, and I'm gonna pick my 4th pick is CTR Crash Team Racing, Crash Bandicoot. Super fun game. If you're a fan of Crash Bandicoot, it's obviously different than the Crash Bandicoot games, but kind of gave you that feeling of Mario Kart just with the Crash Bandicoot characters and that good stuff. So my 4th pick is Crash Team Racing for PS1, and then Stitch number 5. Let's wrap this bad boy up. You're Mr. Irrelevant.
I'm gonna just go with the first Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo. So
Gran Turismo was my first pick.
no, you said 2.
No,
Didn't you say Gran Turismo 2?
no, original.
Oh, okay. All
You
right.
can do the second one if you want to, though.
No, that's fine. Okay. Twisted Metal Black. Twisted Metal Black.
Twisted Metal Black was for PS2.
That's right. You are.
Trust me, that would have been like one of my top picks if it was PlayStation.
You're right. Wow. I guess I could act like I know what I'm doing here.
Act like you played a video game before, Stitch. Come on. I'm just kidding. I've never played Ridge Racer, so I'm the one.
I don't know why I Black was actually Twisted Metal Black was actually the last one I even wrote on there because I was just thinking about it and I wrote it down for whatever reason. So let's see.
I need to get the I need to download the NFL draft tune.
Oh,
or
I should have wrote this on down. Test drive. Test drive. I'm gonna go with Test Drive 5. Yeah.
Test Drive 5. Nice,
Yep.
nice last pick.
We actually had 4. We actually had Test Drive 4 and actually Test Drive 5. But yeah.
Nice. And I'm going to round out my list with I'm going to go with a game I played a lot with my dad, and specifically my dad. Because this was not a game I played with my uncle very often. Was NASCAR 98. And that was one of my favorite games because he didn't play video games very often. He would play. I mean, he did when I was young, like regular Nintendo. But by the time I was playing PlayStation, I was 10, 11, 12, and he was kind of like, yeah, you go be you. And but he got me I remember him getting me I didn't use it very often, but he got me the steering wheel and the pedals. Yeah. And I remember I'd get like a TV tray, and I'd have the steering wheel on that and my pedals down below. Yeah. It was terrible because the pedals would never stay in the same spot. You'd go to push it down, it would flip over upside down. And but yeah, I had a blast. It was fun. Always loved playing those NASCAR games, and I still occasionally like doing it. If there's a NASCAR game out there. So let's recap real quick. Stitch, your list is Need for Speed 3, Hot Pursuit. Number 2, Road Rash. Third pick, Grand Theft Auto 1. Number 4, Ridge Racer. And number 5, Test Drive 5. And then my picks were number 1, Gran Turismo. Number 2, Driver. Third pick was Jet Moto. Number 4, CTR, Crash Team Racing. And number 5, NASCAR 98. So I think I did a clean sweep. I don't think you're going to have many votes.
Oh yeah, you're that confident, huh? Well, I don't know, man. You took Jet Moto from me, so yeah, that probably might automatically win it right there.
Jet Moto and Driver were the two that I definitely really wanted. I mean, I'm surprised I didn't pick any Twisted Metal, but anyway,
that's all right.
All right, sounds pretty fun.
Yeah, we don't have to do it based on the game that we're talking about. So
no, yeah, and we'll switch it up. Like I said, we did the Chat GPT bracket last week. We probably will not do that again for a couple weeks. And then we did the draft this week. We may do it again next week. We might switch it up, try to find something else to do. We'll change it up every week, kind of make it feel a little fresh. But we're down to that last part of the episode where we get into the pop culture. Pop culture. And we are at the movie. So think back to November, and Stitch does not know any of these because he has not seen the list. He can't see any videos I'm getting ready to play. But the movie in November, am I correct here with November? Yes, November of 1995 was this one, and Stitch has already said the name of the movie earlier in the show. I didn't want to give it away, but
wow.
Here we go.
I guess I really.
You saved the day again, Woody.
You're my favorite deputy.
You got a friend in me.
So,
Toy Story 1.
you know what's funny? When I read it, which of course I didn't think nothing of it back then because I didn't really know. But executive producers, it said Steve Jobs.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, the creator of Apple. If that's the same Steve Jobs, but I've never heard of another Steve Jobs. So
No, yeah.
It's a great movie.
It is a great movie. Came out the same month as Twisted Metal, so we had a pretty good November. Yes, Autumn did say the best Toy Story hands down. Graphics were a chef's kiss. Yes, I have seen that movie a million times now because my kids absolutely love it. They're actually more into, well, they were when they were younger, Toy Story. They're not really as much into it now. They would rather watch kids play Minecraft than watch Toy Story. It's a wild time. But, anyway, so that's the movie. So now let's move on to the you know what? Let's go who was born in November of 1995. There's two famous people.
Not me.
Your favorite, Kendall Jenner, was born in 1995.
Oh yeah, that's new. If she's my favorite, that's news to me.
Oh yeah, I know you're a big Kardashian fan, so.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've got all the TV shows on DVD, and oh yeah.
Yeah. And also, this man, I drafted NASCAR 98 earlier. This man was not even 5 years old when NASCAR 98 came out. But NASCAR racer Chase Elliott was born in November 1995. He is supposedly, I don't follow NASCAR very often. He's one of the top drivers now. I think he drives for Hendrick Motorsports, which is the same team as Jeff Gordon used to do. So,
and having his same last name isn't the reason why you decided to choose him.
No, it's funny.
Collusion.
You're right. I saw Ellie and I said I'm definitely putting him on there. So, those were the two that were born in 95, November of 95, actually. Let's go to the TV show. Very, very popular TV show in November of 1995. We've all seen it. trying to stay off the YouTube mute option, right? Because if we start playing copyrighted music, they're going to start muting our entire episode. I've been there. I've done that on the I-70 hot tag.
Yep.
For our commercial break, nonetheless, our little 5-minute break that we used to do, we used to play interviews of like promos of the wrestlers, and it would hype up their upcoming matches. That's what we used to do in the very beginning of the hot tag. And we had a wrestler called Slammer on the show. He's a Hulk Hogan, like, he doesn't look like Hulk Hogan. He's much smaller, but he has he does the whole, ear thing, the leg drop, the big boot. He wears the NWO Hollywood, attire. But anyway, nonetheless, he did a promo, and he had Voodoo Child in the background. Very faint. Couldn't hardly hear it, but it was there. And we played it during our episode, and within 24 hours, that episode was muted because we played Voodoo Child in our episode.
Wow,
So,
the whole thing, huh?
Yeah, but it was only in like certain countries, like Russia and a couple other things. But then it would give you like warnings that say like, hey, if you have another one of these copyright violations in a certain period of time, they would ban you from going live or ban you from posting content. So,
oh wow.
Anyway, so that 70s show, great show. They've got that 90s show.
Yep.
So I don't know if you've that's out now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. I think they have season 2 on there now, maybe going on season 3. I actually watched a little bit of the first, I think, couple episodes of it. It's actually not too bad, but
Nice.
it's on, since it's on Netflix, there's a lot more cussing on it, so Red is saying a lot more than dumbass on it, but
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, so Toy Story, that 70s show, and then the toy that came out in November 1995. I have this ingrained in my memory, this commercial. I saw this so many times as a kid. I don't think I ever had this toy, but I had all the other accessories that went with this. But let's play it and talk about it.
It's Megazord. When evil space aliens threaten Earth, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, in their Dinozords, morph to become the Megazord. The Megazord is part of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Ultimate Battle System.
Hey, I thought you were driving. Me? I thought you were.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, too hot to handle.
rest in peace to Jason David Frank,
Yes.
the Green Power Ranger, and the White Ranger, and the Red Ranger, and
Yeah, Jason David Frank was multiple Rangers,
Yep.
but really, I only count him as the green and the white,
oh yeah, for sure.
right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
that's OG. And then like after Ivan Ooze, the movie back in the 90s, which God, I need to go watch that one again. That movie's probably awful now. Just thinking about anyway.
The show is pretty bad too.
I know. I had 2 videotapes. One was like it had like the Rangers on it. Like one of them was the Black Ranger. I had that video, and then one of them was like the red for Jason, and they were just episodes. And I watched it as an adult, and it's bad.
Yeah.
However, the movie they came out with,
Now or Power Rangers Now and Forever on Netflix.
no.
Oh,
That one I have not seen yet, surprisingly. The movie that came out like, God, it was like what, 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. Anyway, I really enjoyed the movie, and I thought, and they set it up to where they were gonna do a second one, but I guess it was a colossal failure in the box office and did not make any money. They went way over budget and they
Yeah.
completely canceled the second one. And I'm pretty upset about that because, like I said, I enjoyed it. And I like I said, I was a big Power Ranger fan as a kid.
Yeah.
So, Autumn knows. Go Power Rangers.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
also a game that we need to talk about too. The Power Rangers video game.
Which one?
On Super Nintendo, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah. I think
That's
it was
the one
on
I'm most
Super
familiar
and
with. I
maybe
don't
Sega.
know. Oh yeah. Yeah, because that was on both games. Same thing with like Lion King was on both games.
Yep.
Or both systems, I mean. So, well, that's it, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Do you have anything else you want to say about our featured game, Twisted Metal?
No, that's a wrap, man, on that.
It's a wrap.
We did a lot better with production value in this episode.
Yeah, definitely going to do this from now on. I'm going to throw the videos up here. There's no lag, no glitching, no nothing. So,
Which, if we would have known that from the beginning, our episodes would have been way better.
Way better. I mean, look at this. We're at 1 hour and 15 minutes, and that's one of our longest episodes, honestly.
Yeah.
We usually get out of here by right at the 1 hour mark. So I think the draft kind of bogged us down a little bit. But, I mean, we did the Chat GPT thing last week, and anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hunter Dillon was in the house. Autumn was in the house. Was that it for the commenters? Derrick Stich was in the house real early. He must have bounced because haven't heard from him since.
Yeah, he left.
So we will be back next week. Let me take a look at my calendar. We're gonna have to. We'll definitely do it. I will be remote. I will not be in this background. I will be in a hotel room in Joplin, Missouri. Going down there to got a new hire that's starting down there next week, so I'll be training. So we will still plan on going live on do you have a day? Tuesday or Wednesday? Does it matter to you?
No, but if we're gonna flip flop days, we should probably, say take off the part on the video of the opening where it says it's Tuesday. You know what that means? considering today's Wednesday.
Oh, you know what? That's funny. I changed the graphic, like the actual like the day that we're gonna do it. I changed that. I didn't even think about the intro saying it's Tuesday.
That's all right.
All right, well, let's plan for Tuesday. And
oh, look at Chase finally joining in on it. He told us later losers.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Way to be here at the end of the show, sir.
Yeah, we're an hour and 20 minutes in, and you decided to show up at the last second.
Yeah, you got to make your presence known right up front, sir.
He did. He just showed up. You think he's been sitting here watching the whole episode?
No, absolutely.
He told me the other night when he was on the Meaty Boys podcast. I popped in, said one word, and then popped back out. Hey, I was there, bro.
That's not very nice, sir.
5 minutes, but oh yeah. We're a PG show, Chase. I just showed a rated R. We're not PG. Just kidding. All right, that's it. Appreciate everybody. We will be back next week, probably on Tuesday or Wednesday. I will update the intro to say whichever one we're going to be at, and maybe just have two to play, whichever one we decide to do. Let us know in the comments of this what game you want us to do next. We have done regular Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and Sony PlayStation. So if we want to keep that theme going and going to a different platform, we have not done an arcade game yet. We have not done Atari yet. We have not done Sega Saturn, Game Boy. So lots of platforms we have not touched yet. So, and Hunter Dillon sent us a DM on Discord. Appreciate you. Oh, I'm cool. Okay, we're good. We're square.
You are cool. I think you're cool. I don't care what Chase says about you.
Yeah, you know, me neither. Me neither. All right, appreciate everybody tuning in. Hunter, Chase, Autumn. We will see you guys next week. And as always, let's get nostalgic.